Conceive, believe, achieve.
This is former UFC middleweight champion of the world, Michael Bisping.
Paddy the Baddy here. You're listening to Combat Sports UK.
And you're watching Combat Sports UK.
Hello and welcome back to Combat Sports UK. I am joined by a very special guest. It's UFC lightweight, Landon Quinones. How you doing, my friend?
Very good, brother. Very good. Wrapping up the training camp. Almost done. We had the home stretch.
100%, man. How you feeling? Not long to go now. And how's the weight?
The weight is coming down. I was a little heavier than I wanted to be going into this week, but I cut a few things out. It's still going down real smooth. You know, I've never had a problem making weight, so I should be down exactly where I want to be in the next couple of days, and it should be smooth sailing, pretty easy. Feeling good, feeling confident, feeling sharp. Let's get it.
And how has this training camp been for you, and who have your main training partners been?
Well, it's been one of the best training camps I've ever had. In all reality, you know, it's gone smooth. I haven't had any sickness. I haven't had any injuries. I mean, I've had a little ups and downs with my body feeling a little beat up because that's just how training camp is, you know. There's some days you get up and you're like, I don't even want to do this. Like, what? I mean, you go through the roller coasters of the emotions and stuff. And, like, the beginning always feels really good. You're excited. You're having fun training. You get to the middle before your deload a week and you feel like shit. You don't want to go. Like, your body's breaking down. You're like crawling around your house. You're not having the best sessions sometimes. So now the end of the home stretch, my confidence is good. I'm feeling sharper than ever. My training partners haven't really been like guys that are famous. You know, I'm no longer training at Killcliff, so I'm not training with a lot of crazy UFC guys or whatever. I've been training a lot with Daniel Marcos. He's a 135er. He is in the UFC. He's fighting February 10th, the week after me. I've been training a lot with my buddy John Marquez, who fought for Titan FC. He's also going to be fighting for Karate Combat soon. Troy Worthy, who's my head MMA coach. I've been working with him a lot. Even though he's one of my coaches, he's also young and in shape and still fighting as well. So I've been training with him a lot. My boy Juan Galarza, who's been more of a training partner for me, but also one of my jiu-jitsu coaches as well. It's been kind of spread out on the partners. My boy Yoansi Mejas, he's a Combate Global, a Titan FC veteran as well. But man, it's been a little spread out and all over the place. But I've had a very consistent camp, very consistent group of guys, and the work's been being put in.
And talk to me about your last fight, Nasrat Haqparast in September. It was a fight of the night. It was very, very entertaining. I don't think you can hang your head in any way, but you know, what do you take away from fighting a veteran like Nasrat Haqparast?
Man, well, obviously we took the fight on 2 weeks' notice to get in, but we knew the kind of challenge we were heading into. And something I learned from fighting Nasrat is Nasrat's a guy with 13 UFC fights. You know, this is a guy that had more UFC fights than I had fights in general. So what I learned from that is at this level, you have to be fully prepared and you can't take any shortcuts. You know, like I was in good shape, yes. I was training consistently, yes, but I wasn't training for a fight. I wasn't on fight pace. I wasn't sparring as much as I should. I wasn't training at the pace that I should. I was working on the skills and working on the little things, but like I wasn't preparing for a Nasrat Haqparast, right? So I learned that in the UFC, you can't just be going in on short notice. You have to have full preparation. And I also learned about myself. You know, I think Nasrat's a top 20 type of guy. And I feel like I already knew that I was a high level, but that just confirmed that I'm capable of competing at the highest level. And I'm just ready to get the next one and get this first UFC win.
And talk to me about your upcoming opponent, Marquel Mederos. How do you see him as an opponent, and what kind of advantages do you see for yourself in this matchup?
I mean, he's a good fighter, man. He comes from a good camp, Factory X. He's fast. He's got good low kicks. He's pretty athletic. You know, I think I have the advantage, obviously, in the experience. I fought higher level competition. I fought tougher fights. I've been in dog fights before. You know, I know that I have the mental, and I've been tested by getting hit hard in fights, being in bad positions, being down and having to come back. Like those are things that when you know about yourself, it gives you a lot of confidence going in because you know when the going gets tough that you can get through it. So I know I'm very capable of that. I think I feel like I have a power edge. You know, I don't think they're gonna think that looking at the tape, but I think I have more power than him. I think I can put on a pace and cardio that he's never seen before. I think obviously he's a forward guy. He's a forthcoming fighter. He likes to go forward. I also like to go forward. So we're gonna see who takes the first step back.
And one thing I like to ask fighters is, where do you see the dangers from your opponent? What things do you need to look out for in this matchup from him?
Like I said, he has good low kicks. I think he has very deceptive wrestling. I don't think he's used it a lot in his fights, but I've watched his defense and watched him, and like I don't think it's that bad. I think it is something that could be a threat. I know, as I said, he's pretty athletic, so I'm sure he's going to be strong in those clinches. But either way, like I'm not really worried about what he has. You know what I mean? There's a lot of things that you won't know until you're in there with a guy, as far as speed, range, timing, power, strength. Like these are all things that you have to be in there to figure out. And realistically, that's what fighting is. And I've trained my ass off. I've worked super hard. I'm ready for it, and I'm ready for whatever surprises he bring me. It doesn't matter to me. It's nothing I haven't seen before.
I love it, man. Now we're 19 days into 2024, and what kind of resolutions do you have for this year? And what are your goals for 2024?
One of my resolutions is I want to make sure I don't miss church. I want to make sure I'm going to church every Sunday. I want to get closer to God, like I've been doing. I've been going to church every Sunday since New Year. I want to make sure I want to get through this first UFC contract and hopefully fight 4 times this year. 3 times before I finish the first contract, renegotiate, start making more money, put myself in a position to take care of myself as well as my family and my loved ones around me. Um, uh, continue to be more accountable, work on my grappling deficiencies, and just continue to stay consistent, man, and be there and be a good example for the people, and just yeah, man, just be a better me.
I love it, man. You mentioned wanting to get 3 or 4 fights in this year. If you were to win this weekend, where are you looking opponent-wise? You had a competitive fight with a top 20 guy in Nasrat Hakparas. Is there an opponent kind of on the tip of your tongue, or are you just going to fight the guy that the UFC sends you?
Yeah, man. To be honest, right now, like if you look past people, then you're a dumbass. Regardless of how much better I think I am than Marquel and whether I'm going to finish him. At the end of the day, the man has 2 arms and 2 legs. He's in the UFC. There's a reason he's in the UFC. There's a reason he's made it this far. He's the best in his area, the best in his region. He's the guy who's coming in hungry. This is the biggest fight of his life, and I'm not going to focus on any opponent, or I don't have any names or anybody in mind until I'm done with the task in front of me. You know what I mean? Once we get through this, then we can talk about that. I might have a name the moment of, you know what I mean? But as of now, I'm just focused on Markel.
Do you have an idea of kind of what months you want to fight in? Because you're fighting at the very beginning of February, but do you have an idea? You want to fight in June, September,
Man,
that kind of
so
plan at
I'm
least?
I'm trying to be busy, man. So for June would be a good day. July would be good. That's like with a full camp and preparation. But in all reality, in a perfect world, I'd like to knock Markel out, get him out of there, taking minimal damage, and hopefully fight on UFC Miami March 9th. I think the card might be full, but either way, if I put on a good enough performance, the UFC gets excited about it. I'd love to be able to fight in front of my hometown crowd, hometown fans, and put on a show.
And the rumor is that Conor McGregor is going to fight Michael Chandler in June. Is that a card maybe you'd like to get on with your former Ultimate Fighter coach?
Damn, well, now that you mention it, that's definitely a cut. I didn't even think about that. That would be a fucking sick timeline to fight, man. Connor was a really good mentor on the Ultimate Fighter, and he's someone who influenced me a lot. I still text back and forth with him here and there to see how he's doing. I see he's doing real well with his family. He's training his ass off. So I'd love to be on a card with him. You know what I mean? I love to be in the building to watch him fucking spark Chandler. So that'd be great.
Now, my idea with that kind of Chandler card, I think they should get all the guys that fought on that card, or on that season that won and are in the UFC now on that card, and like stack it up with that, you know what I mean? Like Brad Katona and everyone on who was in the Ultimate Fighter and is now in the UFC. What do you think of that?
I'd be honestly a really good idea. It'd be sick. And honestly, it's a Connor card, so they're gonna stack the main card as well. But what better way to do a Ultimate Fighter coaches card than putting the contestants on the prelims? All of us are in there. You got Austin's still in, I believe, even though he did lose the finale fight, he still got to the finale. You have
Yeah.
Kurt Hollabaugh now is fighting Trey Ogden. You got I think Kurt Hollabaugh is actually booked right now, so I'm not sure if he'd be able to get. I think he's March. But he could get on, you know what I mean? That's like a good 2-month gap. He could probably get busy and get on that card. You got Roe, who just recently got signed back to the UFC. I'm in the UFC. We got Brad in the UFC. Like, there's a bunch of guys that were on that show that have made it to the UFC. So I think it'd be sick, man. There's plenty of good matchups for that.
And one thing I wanted to ask you about, because a former opponent of yours and Jason Knight has gone on to do this, and it's bare knuckle MMA. Have you considered that at all? Like maybe a
Hell
post
no.
UFC career kind of thing?
Well, yeah, post UFC, but I'm not worried about doing that anytime soon. You know what I mean? Like, that's for people that are on the back end of their career. I feel the money pays. So, I mean, like, even if I wasn't on the back end, I guess I'd do it because I know they're paying really good money. But absolutely, I think it's something I would do in the future. But right now, my goal is to win a UFC world title and establish myself and create a legacy and excel of what I wanted to do since day one, which is be a UFC champion.
Nice, man. I love it. And I'm going to ask you a couple questions, and that would be, let's look a year ahead, right? The beginning of 2025, where do you want to be? So I'll run through some. Do you think you'll be ranked by 2025
I don't
if
believe I
everything
will.
goes
Like
your
I
way?
said, I mean, that'd be cool, but in all reality, I don't have that expectation. I want to get through this first contract. Once the money is right and I'm out of that first contract, then I'll start calling out people. I want to break that top 15 by the middle of 2025 at the latest. Beginning is a stretch. I think I realistically, you know what I mean? I am delusional in the sense that I believe I can do great things, right? But I am also realistic, and I feel a timeline, taking care of your body, because you got to consider the fact that these training camps are rough. You got to consider that the lifestyle we live as fighters is difficult. You know what I mean? The dieting, the training, the possible injuries that may come in between, all the fight trips and all the things that you have going on. You know what I mean? You got to make sure you time things correctly. So I think a realistic timeline, staying busy, staying focused, keeping eyes on the prize, mid 2025 is where I'd like to break the top 15.
I love it, man. I want to ask you, where did your nickname come from, the Lone Wolf?
Oh man, I was like a fucking bum ass kid in school, and I wasn't ever doing shit, and I would be sleeping in class, and I was just kind of like bullshitting all the time, and like I was always by myself. So my teachers would call me a lone wolf, and then I trained at the Wolf Pack, which is the Pack Fight Team, MMA Science Academy. Back when it was ATT Sunrise, they used to call it ATT Wolf Pack. So my teachers kind of gave me that name, and I kind of just ran with it because I was like, hey, I'm fighting, I'm doing MMA, I might as well use something that people call me. So I started using that name, and it just kind of I used it in a couple fights, and then people started knowing me as that, and then it kind of ran that way, you know.
Really awesome, man. And I really appreciate the time you've taken out of your day. I know you're on your way to getting your hair braided, so I don't want to take up too much of your time. Where can the people find you on social media? Do you have any merchandise or anything like that?
I don't have any Twitter right now. If you want to hit me up in the DM on Instagram, it's at Lone Wolf two underscores 145. I am doing shirts by the order, so I'm not really doing anything on links or any website. But if I do, I will keep updates in there. I don't really have Twitter, so I just do that right now. So yeah, just follow your boy, keep up with the journey, and God bless.
I'll be putting in an order for one of your shirts if you're making them. I'll let you know that. I love buying merchandise from fighters I've interviewed, so that's one of my favorite things to do. And give back to the fighters. And last thing, if there's any sponsors you want to shout out, and here's your time.
At the moment right now, I just want to give a shout out to my manager, Oren Hodak, my coaches, Roger Crawl, Troy Worthen, Juan Galarza, my teammates, John Marquez, think who else? Yoansi Mejas, Daniel Marcos, my team, the Pack Fight Team, man. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate you guys. And hold on, let me get one more. I might have one more I got to throw in there real quick. Hold on. 1 second. Oh, Alpha Prime Supplements, man. Alpha Prime Supplements. Shout out to Alpha Prime Supplements. Oh, shout out to Boner Bears Male Enhancement Gummies, baby. That too. And that's it. I'm
I
good.
love it, man. Best of luck in your next fight, and hopefully we talk again after.
Absolutely, brother, for sure. It'd be an honor.
Take care.
Have a good one. God bless.